Joined right now by one parent, Lizette Rosenblatt, a mother whose daughter was, thankfully, able to escape from the school unharmed. Lizette, first of all...
Today, something we never thought we'd experience.
Yo, what up? It's your man Splash Jordan, episode 39 of the Verdict Podcast. I think it's episode 39. It might be.
I hope it is. I didn't like the number you guessed the last time we tried this, but 39 is near and dear to me. I'm born March 19th, so 39, let's do it.
Okay, well, it might be episode 39 or it might be episode 40. I do not remember.
You gotta get it together. Splash.
Right. I'm more together than the last time we tried this, though. That was like a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Lost the audio. Went home looking real disappointed.
It was fun, though. The moment was magical, and maybe that's why it wasn't recorded. It was just for us, man.
Well, half the moment wasn't recorded.
Right. What are you gonna do with that first half, that snippet of a show?
Probably nothing, but I'll definitely give it a once over. My headphones were going in and out, but I'll definitely give it a once over to see if there's anything I can use.
Yeah, content is king, man. I know. I saw what you did at the pre-show. You know, commercials, snippets, sound bites are everything. You know,
Absolutely, man. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm out in these streets. You know, I'm really like kind of out in these streets in a way that other people aren't. Before we get started, I do want to say shouts out to the winner of 2 complimentary free
I called that
Wiz Khalifa tickets. Shout out to Leslie Perez, aka _Big Billy _ on the gram. She went ham.
I called it.
There were a lot of people I wanted to give the tickets to, but the fact that she went so hard initially that her actions are being confused as spam. Instagram sent her a message like,
Shut her down.
Yeah, like, yo, chill.
Right.
Man.
She screenshot it and sent it to you?
She did screenshot it and send it to me.
That's a win. Like, I would be going still.
Right. So what did she do? A normal person probably would have stopped at that point and was like, you know, thinking to herself, okay, I don't went so hard. I got to win the ticket. So instead, what this person decided to do, though, was make a post on her own page and direct her friends to comment on her behalf, which they did.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, you know,
that's a win.
There were so many people who were consistent, though, and who really wanted it and really tried. I almost thought about buying more tickets to give out just because I'm that kind of person.
Right.
But the way my bank account was set up.
Understood.
Was like, nah, you're not that kind of person this time.
And Wiz getting his weight up, so probably was a nice little penny.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I could have gave her the lawn seats.
Right. They wasn't giving the tickets out at Food Line, the ones that you gave him.
Right, exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times I do give the lawn seats because those are straight. But I went ahead.
You're in the building, you in there.
Right. But I went ahead and, you know, just because she put a little more effort into it, I was like, okay, cool. Here you go. Here's some seated seats for you and a guest. Y'all go do what you're going to do, man. So shout out to her.
Yes.
Follow her on the gram. You know, tell her, you know, what's up. Maybe, you know, by the time you hear this, you can maybe harass her into getting her to take you for the free.
Right.
I hear she's single. So, you know, you shoot your shot right. You know, you might be in there with Wiz for the night. And
I'll give you a tip about that jump shot if you guys decide to take your shot. Hashtag Jesus Gang. It is on her bio. She's not playing.
I was going to say, though, you know, it's hashtag Jesus Gang. So, you know.
Come respectful, gentlemen.
Yeah, come respectful. So, shouts out to her for supporting the show and winning those tickets. A lot of people think it's a game. They're like, I don't want to participate in that. Because that's exactly what she said to me. She said, you know, right before it got started, she was like, you know, I don't want to do it and not win. And I was like, well, you're not going to win if you don't do it.
Right.
You know, so just, you know, in the process, you might win some free tickets to see Wiz. You might find a dope podcast that you like to listen to. Like, just give it a chance. And she did. And she enjoyed the show. And she, you know.
I was going to say, because we're not going to get the friendly extortion either. You know, you enter competitions, you know, not to win, but to have a chance to win.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, my pockets are only so deep, which is not at all. So, shout out to my guest, Erie Canal in the building. Gentleman's very near and dear, very good friend of the show.
Absolutely.
To the Verdict Podcast. Last time he was here, you know, the conversation was so profound that it changed all Verdict Podcast episodes after. Before we get into what you got going on and what you got coming up, you know, we'll you know, handle business as usual. So first thing we're going to do is get into these quick picks. So I'll bet that you're a little more familiar with it this time around.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna rattle them off just to, you know, if you forgot. So There was, an individual who was extorting there was a young lady on Facebook who was extorting a guy in her inbox. There was a young lady from the Middle East who was arrested for dancing. Nebraska is having their first state execution in 21 years. There was some backlash over the actress that Warner Brothers got for the live action version of Starfire. And then Harvey Weinstein's looking for a way out with some love emails, right? And not only that, then there was a situation about a young lady who, tried to get away from the police by telling a police officer that she was a purebred white girl.
What?
Right. So, and an additional thing, kind of like a footnote to the Harvey Weinstein situation, is that now Steven Seagal and Anthony Anderson are also being investigated for some sexual misconduct, which both of those guys are. Well, I hold my opinion about how I feel, depending on if we talk about that or not.
Man, that's a whole lot of mess there. If I had to take a quick pick of one I'd want to know more about, there's a lot of heavy stuff there, man, and I feel like that's going on everywhere, and though I may have a good opinion on them, let's talk about Starfire, man. I was just watching something about Teen Titans Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you picked that one.
Cool.
I'm really glad you picked that one. So, here's the thing, right? Marvel's going ham with their, success. It's like a runaway freight train. Basically, everything.
They're looking unstoppable out here.
Right. Well, they've been unstoppable for years. And so DC, now, their success hasn't translated to the small screen, like TV, the way DC characters have for some reason, like shows like Green Arrow, The Flash, are, critically acclaimed. And
Smallville.
Right. Smallville was the
that
shit.
jam.
Was the shit
Even
back
Lois
then.
and Clark, remember that?
Lois and Clark was the shit.
Chill.
So, those characters, thrive well on TV. So, Teen Titans, if you're familiar with the original Teen Titans cartoon, which was, cult classic, short-lived, took itself a little too serious. They got a new version now, Teen Titans Go.
Which is the bomb. Shout out to Beast Boy.
I personally
MC of the year.
love Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
I love how, they're caricatures of themselves.
Right.
It's like, they're still that character, but it's so over the top now, where it's funny.
Right.
The writing
right.
is great. And Beast Boy is MC of the year.
That's a fact.
Like on my iPod.
That boy's dangerous.
I've been listening to Catching Villains. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my shit.
Yes.
That is my shit. Enter and Cyborg, he was in, had a little cameo in the Justice League movie. So there was already,
Some bleed over.
and there was already an audience for people who wanted to see Teen Titans, take the stage as well. So
I'm there.
right, as were many of us.
Oh man, what'd they do?
So I'll show you, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this.
Okay.
So they released some pictures, like some set pictures, basically. How the characters were looking, like some.
Now, are these real or are these like fan pics? You know how fans cast movies, projections? This is the real deal.
This is the real deal.
Okay, sure. Lay it on me.
This is the real deal. So, okay, all right. So you're probably used to.
Yeah. Now, what I will say, he's showing me some pictures right now. Starfire, 4 or 5 different examples.
These
now,
aren't even all the iterations, but those are some popular.
Right. It's got a Phoenix energy. Some of them do, like a Jean Grey Phoenix energy.
The original Starfire
had that orange and red motif.
Right.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
That is the original Starfire.
Now, here's what I will say about Teen Titans Go.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is where you're headed.
And that's how she looks in Teen Titans Go.
Right there with the big pink swooshy hair.
Right.
Okay. What I will say is this: the comedy of Teen Titans Go is adult sometimes.
It's completely adult.
Okay, we agree on that.
Right.
She's also supposed to be a sex symbol that isn't overtly sexual because of the artwork only. But the attraction, the affinity, the way they drool over her, they've made a parody of that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just letting you know that I'm already aware of that as someone who enjoys the cartoon version.
I like that.
I don't know if that's where you're headed.
No, not at all.
So I saw the pictures. Go ahead, lay it on.
So, now this is a picture of the person who
is might.
No, this is a picture of the person. I forget her name. I could get it easily, but we don't do too much research on this show.
Whatever.
But this is a picture of the person playing Starfire in the Starfire costume.
That's what's up. I don't like the costume. I don't like the hair or the costume.
Right.
But it's a sister. That's what's up.
Okay, yeah,
Because she is melanated. She's darker if you look at her tone even on the show.
sure, that's fine. I don't have
The accent makes her foreign on the show.
And if you look at the original Starfire, she has more of like, that's like
That's nappy. That's woolly.
Right. It's a
Yeah.
very woolly type of hairstyle. So that's fine, right? However, this person looks nothing like this. I don't know who this is supposed to be.
Let me see it again.
But this is not Starfire.
You know what they should? If they're gonna give her weave, they should have gave her some laid down, like the Teen Titans, that swoopy, laid down, straight.
Oh, you mean like this? Now, this is a cosplayer. This is a person who's not being paid a lot of money to portray Starfire in any way.
But does it for
fun.
expos and stuff.
Right. So this is a person, a regular person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They got it right. Yeah.
Right. Because it's not that hard. It's not that hard. And this is a sister as well. This is Cutie Pie Sensei. She's a famous,
go follow her.
cosplayer on Instagram.
She's doing Starfire here.
No, yeah, she's channeling Starfire here on purpose, and she did this after the fact because a lot of people were trying to fake outrage that it was a sister, but a lot of the fans, like, there were some Russian bots in there kind of stirring that up, but a lot of people were like, no,
It can be a sister.
it can be a sister, that's fine.
Yeah.
But this right here, though, this looks bad. She looks
does. She look ratchet.
She looks terrible.
Yeah, that's like a nappy.
Right. She
like,
doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't look like any. She looks. Not
that nappy's bad, but if you're gonna wear fake hair, have it look pristine.
Right.
That looks dusty.
This looks dusty. She looks bad. Like, she looks like she's on the corner.
That's not real.
This is real.
Nah.
This is real.
What page is that on?
What do you mean?
What's the name of that page?
This was just
That I'm not buying it.
If you go to her page, the actress's page, you'll see the same pictures. I'm trying to.
They're gonna change it.
The trolls went so hard though that they ran the girl off of Instagram. She turned the comments off.
Wow.
Now, my thing is this though, is like, if you're going to experiment with characters that are beloved, you can only
some polls.
Yeah, you can only push it so far.
Right.
And sure, this particular project doesn't have the budget of, say, the Avengers. But like I just showed you a picture of a working woman who pays for her own everything out of her own pocket, whatever she's doing, Cutie Pie Sensei.
Right.
She looked amazing as Starfire.
Yeah, and I feel Starfire energy.
Right.
That put me in the mind of the character.
Exactly. So, I mean, to me, it's disrespectful both because it's just like ever since Black Panther came out, you guys have been thirsty for black dollars.
Oh, hold on. This is your beef with Marvel now.
Well, no. This is my beef with the industry.
Oh, because the industry ain't making this movie. Marvel is.
Well, DC is making this particular project.
DC is making
Warner Brothers.
They bought them, right?
Right. So my beef with them is like, okay, you've got a regular person out here who, and she's not the only one. That's just one person. But
I was just gonna say, there's no proof that they've seen her. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is that there's plenty of people who portraying a convincing Starfire, and you wanted to do something radical and make her black, and make her look all trashy and shit because you wanted some type of shock value.
And
like
that's shocking because she
doesn't look good there. But if you went to her Instagram and seen her like just regular how she looks,
she's official.
She's very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She's very melanated. You know what I'm saying? Like, her melanated level is like 10 out of 9. You know what I'm saying?
It's just the hair.
It's the hair and the costume and the makeup.
Yeah, the costume's
the whole thing is bad. It's not her in any way, shape, or form.
It's not Starfire. Yeah,
it's not her at all. But
I'm with you on that one.
It's like the poor quality of so
that doesn't get me excited to see the film
at all. So there was some heavy backlash, and then there was people. Even Cutie Pie Sensei was like, "Oh, it doesn't look that bad." Listen, you're a great looking Starfire, but bitch, you're lying.
Yeah, it's horrible.
She looks terrible. So my advice is, when you are dealing with characters like this, you have to remain very close to the source material. You can play around with some things that aren't, super important, like
it's like replacing the organ. You got to be real close to the original, or
right?
It's going to get rejected by the body.
And not only that, I mean, I could show you some pictures of Beast Boy. It was the same thing happened with Beast Boy. A similar thing is going on with him because people are just like, damn, this guy looks fucking trash. Maybe
they're trolling.
they're not trolling. They're just being lazy. It's like some sci-fi shit. Like it's
like Sci-Fi Channel movie,
right,
like Sharknado.
Right.
Oh,
that's how they're coming with it. It's like, damn, like you can keep this shit like the coleslaw for real.
Right.
So that's something that I cared about because I'm like a super comic head. You know what I mean? Like even though I haven't seen a few of the most recent comic book movies, but moving on, man, because a quick pick is a quick pick. So. We're gonna move on now to a segment. There was a Norfolk Southern Police Department. I'm not exactly sure where they're out of. I'm gonna assume Norfolk.
Okay.
Was in parts of Chicago. They were working with Chicago police departments. And they were leaving trucks that had Nike Air Force Ones on them and Christian Louis Vuittons, if that's how you say the word. They had those designer shoes on them, and they were leaving them in predominantly black neighborhoods. 3 men were arrested. I'm not exactly sure if they were arrested all together or individually. However, 3 individuals were arrested for attempting to steal the contents of these vans. A lot of the neighborhood felt like, you're victimizing us by leaving something enticing in front of us and then, arresting us if we decide to, act on human nature.
Right.
So those people are, claiming to be victims. But my thing is this, like, okay, what you're doing is stealing.
Okay.
So that's still a crime.
Right.
So are you a victim?
Right.
Are they victims in this situation?
And my answer to that is absolutely. And it has nothing to do with being right or wrong. They're wrong. They were stealing, but they are definitely victims. And in this sense, I'm using the word victim as to mean the state that they ended up in was the intention of a created plan. They are the victims or the result or the subjects of a plot.
Oh man, we were way more passionate about
Yeah,
this.
we were. I'm done.
We were,
Listen, we went back.
Because we killed it.
But I've precised. I've trimmed down my answer.
But that's
firm
what you
on
said.
it.
That's what you said.
Yeah, but I went into the breakdown of the,
You did. We were way more passionate, and I don't even have the
rebuttals you had. I already chopped them up.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because we already know how that goes, which is why I hate to to redo one. But here we are, so it's all good. So whatever then. So then you think that these people are victims. I still think that, you have to take some personal accountability for your actions. And if you are going, because first of all, here's the thing that people, overlook sometimes. It's only stealing if you get caught. Mm-hmm. So if you don't get caught, then you were just doing what you got to do.
And it's only stealing if it's someone's property. This is bait.
Well,
it's not even someone's property.
It's not your property, though.
What makes it mine?
Ownership.
Check it out. Now, the same...
Possession is 9 tenths of the law, though.
There you go. I'm walking down the street, and there's a pair of sneakers on the ground, and I pick them up.
It is just an open truck.
Is it stealing, or did I acquire them?
And there was no sign that said, don't take them.
Check it out. You know what I found? I found out a new term watching Netflix. If it's not locked, it's not secured. If it's not locked, it's not secured.
And if it's not secured, then that means that it's available.
There you go. Now, just like being in public, you have no reasonable assumption of privacy. If you don't secure things, you have no reasonable expectation that they are secured from acquisition.
Right. So I'm gonna hammer that point home a little more. So if you go into any store, any retail store, let's say you go to the grocery store,
right?
You can access. You go to the freezer section.
That's right.
You can open those doors all day long. Now, if you want to go to that back room or to the cash register, you need a code. You need it's a lock. It's this. It's that. There's steps in place. So it's like this sets an expectation.
Right.
You're not. You don't have access to this because you don't have the necessary entry information.
What it does is it reinforces the nigga go where I told you to go. Because if it's midnight and you're walking down an alley and you walk down this alley every day, right? And then one day there's a car sitting there. And you look into the car and there's cash on the back seat. And it's not, someone put it there for you to find it, to watch what you would do. That's an experiment. Your behavior now is not even a subject for discussion because you are the subject of a experiment. You are a victim. That doesn't mean victimhood makes you right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you are the product of someone else's intentional experimentation. And that's victim.
Now, is that true because they had a show called Bait Truck.
I remember, and it shuts down on them and all of that.
Right, and those were predominantly colonizers who attempted to take the vehicle. Mm-hmm. So would you still call those people victims?
Absolutely. Here's only, and like I say, victim. I'm not removing any onus upon the behavior. When I say victim, what you experienced was created by someone else with the intention of judging, watching, or instigating your action. What part do you play in that equation? If you're not going to use the word victim, unknowing tool, then you've been victimized because you've been used without your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Whether you fall to the temptation or not is a different discussion.
Okay.
For me, as it relates to the word victim.
Okay. All right. So a stalemate. Well, I don't know. You kind of persuaded me this time. You know, we might be, you know, on the same side. At first, I considered these people thieves.
Right.
But when I consider all sides of it, then it's like, okay, I could see how they could feel victimized.
And fuck their feelings. I'm talking about subjectively. We're on the outside of it looking in. How did this all begin? You started this? Did he know about it? Was he a part of it? No. So when you're unknowingly manipulated, that's victimization. We just present an argument. You know,
Right.
Let the listeners give the verdict.
Okay, so moving on, man. So before we get into you, we're gonna do another segment that's pretty popular, man. Rappers who went to jail. Now that's one thing we didn't get in.
We did not.
So there's some good news about rappers who went to jail, and there's some bad news about the rappers who went to jail.
Okay.
So which one should I start with? The good news?
Bad news.
All right, bad news. So somebody we've mentioned several times. This person continued, like, plenty of weeks we don't have a rapper who went to jail, and you know we applaud that because everybody's, you know, keeping their nose clean, keeping their head down.
No, we don't.
On the show, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Right. But one guy, actually there's two guys, but most of the time it's one guy. He saves me almost every week. And you know, if you personally probably don't know because you may haven't heard an episode in a while, but people who've been listening, they already know I'm about to say Orlando Brown.
So what is this?
Oh my gosh.
Right. This segment,
He's a rapper?
he qualifies for he matches, you know what I'm saying? All the criteria is met for him to be discussed in this segment. So,
Okay.
you know, yeah, he raps over beats. And you know what? Here's the thing. Orlando Brown can rap.
Right.
I don't have no problem saying that. He can spit bars.
Right.
And now, can he make music? I don't think so.
Right. And man, he be looking rough in some of these interviews he does.
Well,
Oh,
you
my
know,
Lord.
he's
Is
wanted.
that his aesthetic? Because that shit is rough.
He's wanted for possession of methamphetamine.
Oh, okay.
So,
Now I understand.
I don't know if he was using it or if he was dealing it. I'm gonna say he was using it
Me too.
because he looks bad.
That's what I said.
There's a warrant for his arrest. You know, Las Vegas, Nevada. They want him to come hang out with them for a little while. So he's going to be headed back to jail pretty soon. This time might be for a little while because, you know, he was already not supposed to be doing nothing else and he was doing some other shit. So we'll see, man, how many more times this man can shake the fucking, you know,
Right.
I don't wish jail on, most of the times I don't wish jail on people, but, you know, I don't wish jail on him either. So hopefully, you know, he's got one more get out of jail free card. It doesn't look good. I wish he would have had not killed Raven Simone.
Right.
So that he could be on the
And that
show.
could be keeping him clean. Yeah.
And he could be, you know what I'm saying, getting his money. I know for a fact he wishes that too. He thought that ship had sailed.
That's
he
so
thought
Raven.
that ship
Yeah.
had sailed. And, you know, he started wilding out. As soon as he started wilding out, people were like, well, what's Raven up to? She's, you know, keeping her head down, got her nose clean. Why don't we give her a show again? You know what I'm
Boom.
saying? So I don't know how well that show's doing or if it's even out yet.
Right.
But I think it is out now, and I think it's doing well enough to where, you know, everybody's laughing to the bank again.
Right. I'm about to say, she could have gave him a job. It's doing that good enough.
And she would have. And she would have.
Yes,
100%.
indeed, without a
she would have
doubt.
looked out for him. She as soon as she
I
got
don't
the
care
call,
what he was doing. He would have been in the building.
She would have called him first, but he fucked all that up.
Right.
A long time ago. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely jokes on him. Like, you know, you need to chill out, my nigga. So, other than that, so Orlando Brown. Now we got Tekashi 6ix9ine. You know, the DA, the New York District Attorney, wants this nigga to sit down for 1 to 3 years and register as a sex offender. You know, which
Humble that ass.
right, you know, because he's been out here kind of living his life, doing his thing, and it's like, okay, you know, you did like, you know that girl was like 13 or whatever, and you was acting mighty untouchable. So I don't believe in karma.
Okay.
But
Me either.
you know, it's just, you know, the circumstances are mighty unfortunate that, you know, you went toe to toe with all these people and you was like, won't none of y'all niggas touch me. And they didn't, because for once,
I was about to say, wasn't he just like black-eyed up? Somebody touched him.
well, that was it. I feel that was fake. All of that was fake.
I probably agree with that.
With him getting robbed,
Yeah.
all of that was fake.
I agree with that.
His OG,
not for promotion, just for his image. He didn't need to promote a song.
Right.
He did it for his image.
He did it for his image.
Yeah, there's a difference.
He wanted to be humbled. You know, he wanted the heat to come off. He wanted his oppressors to feel like, okay, you got what you wanted.
Right. I'm still a little kid. Don't hurt me too bad.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm YG and I'm looking at you getting your shit snatched and you got beat up, it's like, okay.
You a dun-dun-dun. I can't really.
You know what I mean? Like, me piling it on at this point
would be bullying.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm Chief Keef, I'm thinking the same thing. If I'm any of these guys, I'm thinking like, okay, if I really touched you, I'm not going to get any cool points.
Right.
So, but now it's like, okay, nigga, the government's coming for you. All this you doing, you know, it's you know, they got trolling immunity in the courtroom.
Right.
You know, you go up in there trolling and you're going to sit your ass down for, you know, several years. So, shouts out to him, man, because I was just starting to like him. You know, people, you know, my fans of this show know I fucking hated him for a while, and I actually wished jail on him. I wished bodily harm and jail on him. So I'm glad that, you know, I personally feel like he was trying to change his image. And
I told you I wasn't buying that, but I hear you.
At least for the casual fan, I felt like he was trying to change. So moving on to the bit of good news, man. Jacquees, he was a guy who was actually featured on Rappers Who Went to Jail because he went to jail for speeding while in Miami, and I think he was, you know, being reckless or whatever. Right. And, you know, the cops, being hip hop police, they made a thing about it. You know, took him to jail and, you know, whatever the case may be. Anyway, charges were dropped because the police didn't show up because, you know, they have nothing better to do than to write you tickets or get you jammed up in the system over petty crimes that they themselves don't even consider serious enough to stop chasing real crimes and real criminals to, you know, appear in court. So it's like, you know, why are you even bothering me if you knew that this isn't, you know what I'm saying? Like there were 7 police officers involved in his arrest in Miami. Wow. And only one of them showed up to court. Wow. So that tells you, like, these people don't give a fuck. They just, they just want to, you know, get their quotas up. They want to get seen by locking you up. So shouts out to him for, you know, case being dropped. So now before we get to, you know, these 2 truths in the comments, so tell me what you got going on though.
I'm just reconsolidating my brand, really. You know, moving to the state. I told you a little bit about what was going on with the music and feeling a little frustrated, getting reconnected to the Carolina scene. So I kind of went back into, you know, just doing what I do, creating. You know, I'm working a lot with my consulting agency. I'm designing logos for people. I'm doing artist development consultations at the same time that I'm listening to beats and writing new songs. Updating my website regularly, working on consolidating my social capital, getting the people who watch my posts, who, you know, like my concepts, to give them a home base. One thing I am doing that I want everybody to do is spend 4 hours with your BMI account. And if you don't have a BMI account, get one. It's amazing how much being lazy can hurt you. Register your songs with BMI. Register your songs. Register yourself as a publisher and an author. Register your live performances. I have checks coming from BMI for doing open mics. People didn't even know that was possible. Well, if the song you perform at the open mic is registered with BMI, then you can register that performance and get paid. You know, but it takes 3-4 hours with your BMI account and it's done. So I'm learning those things and wanting to pass that knowledge on to people who are worthy of it and who I feel like will really be receptive. So I'm just growing, man. I'm evolving. And, you know, looking for stages to rock.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we were just on the stage last night. Yeah. We weren't rocking it in any way.
We was rocking it from the support side.
Right, which is, you know, that's kind of my lane. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I'm you know, support system, you know, for various individuals. I went out to the Carolina Music Awards pre-show. It
was dope. It was packed. Right,
where some of the nominees were performing, you know, kind of getting the crowd amped up for the Carolina Music Awards this weekend. I'm actually, and I sponsored. I was one of the official sponsors for the pre-show.
Indeed.
So clap it up for me 1 time, 2 times actually. So, you know, I've actually gone on a bit of a, you know, I've put myself in position where I'm doing that more often. So, you're going to see me on more stages, kind of, you know, just going over what I do, building my brand and my fan base, one set of eyeballs and ears at a time. So, that is good though. That's good advice though, as far as, you know, because really, a lot of times, especially when we're dealing with, these rapper guys, there's a lot of things that are cute and sexy. Mm-hmm. Dealing with your BMI is not cute and it's not sexy. You can't go. You don't want to go Instagram Live while you going through.
They
your
got an ugly ass gray website. There is no graphics.
It's very boring.
But
it's
wow,
it's necessary.
I got that direct deposit the other day, and I said, I get it now.
Right, and whatever money that was something that you didn't have, and when you're getting paid for what you do, it's just like, okay, even if this was $5, it's like, damn, think about if I did this, 2 nights a week, two times a night, 2 times a week. You know what I'm saying?
It starts
like,
to multiply quickly.
It starts adding up quickly, and then that 5 turns into 10, and that 10 turns into 100, and 100 turns into 1,000. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So what do you have? I know you got the new video for Cake.
Yeah, and I shot that myself. Shout out to Filmic Pro and all the people utilizing their iPhones to their greatest capabilities. So, I shot that music video myself, man. Shout out to the rest of the Pure Flow family, Azariah and J Hustle. I shot it in downtown Raleigh, and I shot other parts at the lake in upstate New York, back in my hometown of Rochester. Combined the footage. The video Cake is doing really well. People really like it. But yeah, if you check it out, just remember I shot that with my cell phone. And it's all about the capabilities and the potential, man. If you got a $800 phone, it's worth 30 minutes of watching YouTube videos to realize it can do so much more than, allow you to slide into some DMs. So, we got to stop being lazy and saying what we don't have and figure out how to maximize the potential of the things we do have.
You got to use what you have to get what you want.
To its fullest potential.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, a lot of people are walking around with $1,000 smartphone,
and have no idea what they can do with it.
Right. They've got Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all these apps making other people money. And, I know a lot of people who, they got a lot of followers for whatever they have a lot of followers for. And instead of capitalizing on their attention and directing it to someplace where they can get paid, they'd rather do like an IGTV or whatever. And I'm just like, look, that's fine. Do that. But in addition,
have a game plan.
In addition to directing them to a place where it's like, okay, if you come here, I'm the only person. I have control over this. And so I'm having a lot of the same conversations to the point now where I have to charge, for my time, my consultations. I do a lot of podcast production now. A lot of people, trying to get their podcast, started. And I've started a lot of podcasts for the free.
Wow.
So it's like, okay.
That was you honing your craft. Now you're worth it. Your portfolio speaks for itself.
Exactly. So, all right. So other than that, though, what you have down the pipeline?
I'm working with a manager finally. I got somebody on board. I hired someone to work with me intimately on my vision. I got some things cooking in Durham. Working on some things in the acting realm. Like I say, right now it's really about brand consolidation. I don't got any dates for anybody. I got a website that people need to check out because that's another thing I'm doing.
What's that website?
Exclusive content, updates about what I'm doing, where I'm going next. www.eriecanalraw.com. And Erie is EERIE. That's the home of everything. Go to eriecanalraw.com. Like I say, that's where my new moves will be announced. I'm not doing it on Facebook no more. I'm not doing it on IG no more. I'll use those. But for the people who want to be a part of the movement and see where it's going, I've got a place to show you. It's a place I built. If you enjoy what I make, come there.
Right. Come there. And I know all about how hard it is.
Yeah.
Getting your own mother to click that link sometimes. It's like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, if this was Drake, if I put Drake, in front of this link, you would click it. But since I put, my name in front of the link, you're like, I don't know. It's like, nigga, this shit doesn't even cost you anything. You won't even just fucking go so I can get credited for some web traffic, my nigga. Like, I can't just get your temporary IP address, logged onto my site. That's like, come on,
just
man.
Dial my number. I don't got to pick up. Just let it ring once.
Like, damn, man. For real. So, okay, man. Yeah, definitely. I've seen you on stage before. Once you get your package, developed to a point where you're ready to perform, you're ready to do things. I think that you'll be in position to experience great success. I know that this area is very welcoming of talented individuals. We saw plenty of talented artists hit the stage last night.
Absolutely.
Some not so talented, but still working and perfecting their craft. So shout out to them for that. So, if you didn't have anything else, man, I'll go ahead and move on to these 2 truths and a con. Now, and I will warn you.
Let's do it.
I'm not very, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not very kind. Okay? So, let me tell you first, man. So, April 2012. So, 14-year-old Erica Andrews, bless you, 14-year-old Erica Andrews, she went to a NC-17 movie in Wichita, Nebraska. There she was sexually sexually assaulted by a moviegoer, unnamed assailant, who sexually assaulted her for the length of the movie, bless you.
For the length of the movie?
For the length of the movie, until it was over and he got up and he left. Later she went home that night and told her parents, who later went back to the theater, but they were unable to identify, who this individual was. She said she was scared, blah, 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 right? So, second scenario is 20-year-old Davy Adams, who gave the wrong look to a group of teenagers at the concession stand before a screening of Meet the Fockers. The three teens then waited until the movie ended and assaulted Davy and his friends outside the theater, stabbing and killing Davy and seriously injuring two others. The third scenario, February 2008, at a screening of The Signal, a California man stabbed strangers, Julio Sanchez and Eloy Uresti. So California man, Julio. So a man stabbed two people, strangers. And it was strange because he stabbed them right before a scene in the movie where two people got stabbed. So it was a little eerie and unsettling in the movie theater. So two of these things did happen, and one of them I made up. So which one do you think that I made up?
I'm going to say you made up Meet the Fockers. I don't think that one happened.
Okay, the second one with Davey and the teenagers?
Yeah.
That actually did happen. That happened, and so did the California man who stabbed Julio Sanchez. Oh, good.
So the little girl one didn't happen.
The little girl one did not happen.
I don't got no faith in this cesspool of people.
Right.
I could see something like that because I know kids, they don't, make a scene depending how big. But I'm glad that one was fake. Okay.
Yeah. No, that one did not happen. So
okay. Well, I failed at that.
Yeah. So I made that one. Listen, man. I think pretty long and pretty hard about how to trip people up. So,
what's your record?
My record is probably something like 10-3.
Oh man,
yeah, something.
You
should
have told me that before we did it. I'd have tried harder.
Okay. All right, man. So I appreciate you coming. I won't hold you too long, man. Let's go ahead and tell people where they can find you on various social media platforms. I know you shout out your website, but tell them
it. That's all I'm giving them.
Okay,
because because on my website are links to Instagram, are links to my Facebook.
Yeah, if you want to know his Facebook, his Instagram, his any other social media platform, go to www.eriecanalraw.com.
That's right.
All right. Other than that, man, if you want to fool with me, you can on Instagram and Twitter at House of Splash. You can also go to my website, check out this episode, check out episodes of my other podcasts and other online content at thehouseofsplash.com. Other than that, man, we out of here.
Yeah.